Since January 20th, 2025, the federal government has undergone significant cutbacks, the likes of which have not been seen in decades. USAID, the primary source for food and medical assistance workers, has seen a shrink in its employees from over 14,000 to under 500 worldwide. The entire African continent has been reduced to 12 full-time USAID employees. 12. As we shared today, both the U.S. National Forest Service and the National Park Service are facing significant layoffs, 3,800 and 1,000 respectively. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which includes the National Weather Service, the National Hurricane Center, and the Severe Storms Forecast Center, are facing major layoffs in the coming days. The EPA is losing 388 out of 1,100 probationary workers or staff hired within the last year or who have changed their positions within the last year. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has lost 10% of its workforce. And according to USA Today, last week, Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, announced on X the department canceled nearly $1 billion in educational research contracts, severely limiting the agency's data collecting arm. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development is under threat of being completely shut down, which would lead Congress to sending block grants to the states and letting them decide how best to spend federal funding on housing. While these budget cuts may sound like a good idea to control wasteful spending, they come with the substantial risk of loss of governmental oversight for matters involving discrimination and human and civil rights violations. Without HUD, who would be monitoring public complaints about landlord-tenant discrimination. The U.S. Department of Labor has been hit hard with cuts to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. The Internal Revenue Service has lost over 7,000 agents during tax season. Somewhere between 140 and 170 employees of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau have lost their jobs. The building in Washington, D.C. that houses the Bureau has even had its lettering removed from the entrance to the building and its logo covered up with plastic bags. Even the Department of Defense will lose 8% of its $800 billion budget, which assures that the department will be losing a significant portion of its workforce. More than 400 employees identified as non-mission critical personnel in probationary status were fired at the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, according to both CBS and ABC News. Even 1,000 employees are losing their jobs from the Department of Veterans Affairs. All these layoffs will not make the government more efficient. What it will do is throw more doubt and chaos into whether our federal government can complete the various missions it is related to: housing, education, energy, protecting our nation's food supply, medical supply, and keeping our air safe to breathe and water safe to drink. The layoffs will hinder government agencies that monitor everything from taxes to the weather to protecting people from discrimination. The people of the United States deserve better from our government, no matter how inefficient someone from South Africa may think it is. That's our program. Thanks for listening. Be sure to tune back in next week, but for now, stay tuned for more music here on PEP Radio.